It's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerantz. Thanks for joining us again. Our guest is Ruth Frechman. She is with the American Dietetic Association. I will admit my bias. I have two daughters. They are 9 and almost 7. And so when I read about your Kids Eat Right campaign, I had to have you on. So many of our viewers are mothers and fathers. Talk to me about the crisis with our children and what they consume.
Well, it's great to be here, Brad.
Thanks.
It is a crisis. 17% of our kids are obese. That's a significant number. It's been steadily rising. They think it may be leveling off, but we need to do something about the problem.
And what's interesting about what you've been saying in your reports is that, yes, we got to get junk food out. We know that. Yes, we got to keep those kids active. We know that. But even if they're active, and even if their junk food consumption is lower than, as low as we'd like, they still may not be getting the nutrients they need. Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, they're not eating the right foods, basically, and that's a serious problem. Many of the kids are, even if they're not overweight, they still may be malnourished. 30% of all the children's calories are coming from solid fats and added sugars.
Which would be what?
Added sugars would be sweetened beverages like soda, sports drinks, energy drinks, cakes, cookies, pies, granola bars, and the solid fats. Actually, the number one solid fat for kids' consumption is the sweetened grains like cakes, cookies, and pies.
What about cereals?
They're low in fat. Mm-hmm. They can be a whole grain.
What do we do? I mean, look, as I said, my daughter's 9 and almost 7. They want white food. Their food is not colorful at all. And when I look at that white food, it just seems to lack all nutrition.
Mm-hmm. Well, you want to balance. Half of your carbohydrates should be whole grains. 95% of our children's diets are lacking whole grains.
And what's a whole grain?
A whole grain would be whole grain pasta, whole wheat bread.
We eat whole wheel pasta. Miracles shall never cease. And they don't even realize. They don't know that it's whole wheat pasta.
Mm-hmm. If that's what they're growing up eating, they're not going to know the difference. Mm-hmm. Other whole grains would be brown rice, barley, popcorn, oatmeal.
Popcorn. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. My kids love popcorn. I'm sure your kids do as well. Mm-hmm. What about the vitamins, the Flintstone vitamins or whatever it is? Is that worth it? Should we be supplementing?
It's not necessary to take a supplement unless there's some health reason for it. But always food first. If you're getting enough fruits and vegetables and whole grains, lean sources of protein, 1% of fat-free sources of milk and milk products, you'll be okay.
So talk to me about the fruits and vegetables. It may seem obvious, but what exactly do you mean when you say our children should be getting fruits and vegetables?
Mm-hmm. According to this report, is an alarming statistic in there. 90% of our kids aren't eating enough vegetables. 75% aren't eating enough fruits.
You think fruits, they taste sweet, they're natural sugars. So what's the nirvana there? Is there a vegetable that really could address the problem? Is there a fruit that we should be pushing on our children?
When it comes to fruits and vegetables, just variety. Any fruit, any vegetable. Mm-hmm. And for children, about approximately 2 cups of fruits a day, approximately 2 cups of vegetables a day. Depending on their age, they may not even need quite that much.
Okay, so they've had a cantaloupe as their appetizer, they've had a lean piece of chicken, and now they want dessert. Mm-hmm. And, I got to admit, in my household, it's a battle. What is you don't want to deprive them and create an eating disorder, but what's the sense about desserts? Mm-hmm. What's your thought?
Well, it's all about variety. Mm-hmm. If you want to have dessert occasionally, but you want to make sure that you're getting the nutrients in your diet first. Why not fruit for dessert? It's sweet and filling.
Mm-hmm. And what about the parents? We got a role model? Is that obvious?
Yes. To kids, the moms are the number 1 role model. Dads are number 2.
Ruth, thanks for joining us. I'm Brad Pomerantz. We thank you for joining us. Back to HLN.
Charter Internet is keen on giving you more, not a little more, a big more, as in more speed than ever, which means more streaming hoops, more celebrity scoops, more of Saturn's rings, unless hip-hop's more your thing. More posts, more boasts, more webcam, more Cousin Pam. By delivering more speed, we make the web more fun. Moreover, it doesn't cost more. It's another free speed increase for Charter customers. All the more reason to be one.